most Legend equipment, we tried to emphasize simplicity and value. And in this, you have some of your standard stuff in terms of 3-inch tubing, 11 gauge. But one of the things that signifies the Pro Series as opposed to the some of our other cages is that this has actually 7-gauge chrome offset racking with laser cut numbers. And just a sign of how rigid and simple the cage is.
Wow.
And this, each side of the cage is fully welded, completely welded. The only bolts you have in the frame of this thing are going to be where the cross members attach. So that means it's not only is it easier to set up, but it provides one of the most rigid cages in the market. The thicker the steel, the fewer joints, the fewer bolts you have in something. And every time you put a bolt through something, that presents a possible weak point in your design. So this is all 3D CAD developed to where it uses as few bolts as possible, so you have the ultimate in rigidity, the minimum in maintenance, and the longevity is implied just in how strong it is. We have a standard bench docking system where you have rods coming out either side of our Pro Series cage. All you have to do is simply lift up with a handle here. You have wheels in the back of the bench. You bring the rod forward and it centrally locates and secures the bench wherever you need it. So it doesn't really matter how far the bench is from the back of the cage. The spotter moves with the you have standard resistance band pegs on the bottom, and since it's a full cage, you're also standard on the top as well. On the top, the bands will provide lifting assistance, and of course on the bottom they'll provide lifting resistance for different band lifting techniques. We have fully welded, not bolted, chrome-plated weight storage, Olympic peg weight storage. You get 5 pegs on each side. You also have vertical bar storage in the back, also with little slots.
Oh, wow.
You have little slots for the rods of the bench docking system, just in case you don't want to use the docking system. You can take the rods out of the sides of the cage and put them in here. We also have pegs at the top where you can hang chains or bands, so they're also handy. And one of the designs we're proud about on this is that we have one of the best hooks in the industry. The hook is the most important part of the cage. It's the part of the cage that the user interacts with the most. This is the real hands-on part of the cage. It's also the part of the cage that keeps the user from getting injured. And in this, we have a fully welded wraparound design with a window for the numbering. And we also have, what's most importantly, a space-age polymer that is the actual contact point. So that way there's no metal-on-metal contact with the bar, which preserves the knurling on the bar, also helps absorb some of the impact energy so there's less bounce out. There's an extended profile, so that way it's easier for the user to find in a panic situation and presents more safety. And the wear surface is extended all the way up the face of the hook, so that way you have very little opportunity for there to be any chipping, any flaking, any rust anywhere on these things. That's worth pointing out is that Legend Fitness has a patent pending on the industry's only what we call a dual landmine. Some people refer to it as grappler. This is actually where you slide in an Olympic bar, and you can do a variety of exercises right here in front of the cage. You can do flies, you can do shoulder thrusts, you can actually even do squats. It's the world's safest squats if you put these up on your shoulders and hold the bars in front of you and then sit down, so that way you make sure you're always in a safe positioning for doing squats.